Okay, so good evening. Welcome po sa ating live session para bigyan ulit kayo ng simple tips and kung paano po yung mga guidelines na gagawin natin during our proper review. So ito po ay as a guide na din sa inyo kung ano yung magiging flow po natin. Pagmula sa start ng inyong proper review hanggang sa inyong final coaching. So ako po, ipapakilala ko muna ang aking sarili. Ako po ay galing ng Quezon Province. So kasamahan ko rin po sina Sir J.M. Ponteveros nyo, si Sir Miko Manalo, si Sir Neil Sumilang, sina Attorney Jingo Fernandez. So kami-kami po ay magkakasama na mula Quezon. And para tulungan din po ang Chops Review Center, nandito kami, sama-sama kami kabilang ang ilang pang mga national lecturer ninyo para tulungan kayo na makuha yung pinapangarap nyo pong lisensya. So, ang ating itatakel, bibigyan kayo ng kaunting knowledge, o kumbaga tawagin natin na patikim pa lamang when it comes to tackling the professional ethics and values and under din po ng character formation. So pinaghalo muna ni Ma'am para magkaroon kayo ng idea kung papaano namin ginagawa po ang review session. So mag-start tayo. Ang under po ng professional ethics and values, yan pong ating ethics and values na yan is under what area? Ito po ay under ng criminology area. Criminology area. Which is, may ilang percent nga daw po ang criminology area, mga ma'am at sir. Binubuo po yan ng 20%. So, wag nating ipapagsawalang bahala. Ano po ang 20%? Dahil sobrang laking factor po niyan para maipasa nyo yung area na yan. And mabuo yung at least is passing yung, nung nakalagay dun sa passing rate. Para maipasa nyo ang board exam. And next naman natin po, ang character formation, under naman po yan ng Leia na area. Kung saan ang Leia na area po natin is binubuo ng 15%. So, meron po yang 15%. So, wag din ipapagsawalang bahala. Hindi porket itong area na to is 10%, itong area na to is 15%, itong area na to is 20%. Meron ka lamang pong pipiliin na area para pagpokosan. So, hindi po ganon ang mindset. Kailangan palaging isiset nyo po ang utak ninyo na dapat lahat ng area and subject under those area ay mapapasadahan ninyo. Babasahin, uunawain. Dahil ganun po pagdating sa actual board exam. So, mag-start na tayo sa sample question. Number 1 question. Under po ito uulitin ni ma'am. Magkahalo po itong professional ethics and values and character formation. So number 1, sample question natin. These are forbidden acts involving misuse of office or authority for personal gain. Ano daw pong tawag doon sa forbidden acts? Kapag sinabing forbidden, ipinagbabawal o kaya hindi po siya ina-allow na action. Ipinagbabawal o hindi ina-allow na action involving misuse of office or authority for what purpose daw po? Anong sinabi sa question? For the purpose of personal gain. So anong magiging tawag natin? Letter A, corruption. Letter B, deviance or deviance. Letter C, immorality. And D, brutality. So the answer will be, sa number 1, this pertains to letter A. Corruption po yan. Ma'am, bakit sa corruption mag-fall? Anong nakalagay sa question? Forbidden acts, ipinagbabawal na gawain na patungkol sa maling paggamit kung saan ng authority para lamang po sa ang purpose, para sa pangsarili mong kapakanan, personal gain, o pangsarili mong kagustuhan. So, this will fall to corruption. Ma'am, ano naman daw po yung sinasabi nating deviance or deviance? So, deviance or deviance is an action. It is considered as an action that breaks the law. That breaks the law. and also an action that violates social norms. An action that violates social norms. So yan po yung sinasabi natin as deviance or deviance. Kung paano nyo man siya bigkasin. Ano po? So ano magiging example natin under the professional ethics and values nating tinatawag? So ang karaniwang example natin under the deviance or deviance is yung iba't ibang uri po ng police deviances. Ano? Like for example, meron tayong tinatawag po na police perjury. Ano pa? Meron din tayong tinatawag na police brutality. So yun yung some of examples na tinatawag natin pong police deviance. So ang binigay na definition ni ma'am is within the general sanction of deviance or deviance natin pong tinatawag. Next naman, ma'am, ano naman daw po kapag tinatawag nating immorality? So immorality, kung may immorality, meron po tayong tinatawag na morality. So, anong magiging definition na natin dyan? Kung may morality tayong tinatawag, so ang magiging definition niyan, it is the contrary. It is the contrary or sa Tagalog kabaliktaran. Ano? Ng morality. It is the contrary or opposition. Contrary or opposition of morality. Of morality. Kaya nga tayo may tinatawag na moral actions, immoral actions, and amoral actions. When it comes to morality, under the moral actions, this pertains to the righteous act or this pertains to the goodness of the acts of a certain individual. So, under the immorality, kung saan ito ay kabaliktaran, dyan na yung merong indication ng sinful action. Ano? O kaya natitrigger siya ng by the term evil action. So yun po yung definition or differences ng morality to immorality. Next naman po natin, ma'am, ano naman daw po yung tinatawag natin as brutality in general? So when it comes to general definition ng tinatawag nating brutality, brutality daw po is an extreme. It is an extreme physical violence. It is considered as an extreme physical violence. So under the professional ethics and values po, anong karaniwang example natin? So example natin dyan, papasok po dyan yung tinatawag natin as police brutality na nabanggit nga po ni ma'am kanina under the police deviances. Ano, kapag tinawag na police brutality, it is the excessive use of force, ano, to an individual to deprive his liberty. That is against the law. So yun po yung tinatawag natin as police brutality. That's why ang magiging sagot natin sa number 1, which is in the question po, it is the forbidden acts involving misuse of office or authority for what purpose ulit? Personal gain. This will fall to alpha. Corruption po yan. So sa number 1 natin, the answer will be alpha. So tip ano, uunawain po ang tanong. Ano, hindi yung kada salita, halimbawa nagbigay kami ng question, is yun na agad yung lalabas sa board exam. Hindi po ganun. Ano, uunawain natin. Dahil madalas, naiiba yung construction. Kaya akala nyo, mali yung sagot nyo, pero yung unang instinct nyo, o kaya yung unang pumasok sa isip nyo is tama, babaguhin nyo pa. So yun lang. Next natin. Next number 2. Considered as the highest form of love in the PNP hierarchy of police values. Number 2, considered as the highest form of love in the PNP hierarchy of police values. So ano daw po yung kinukonsidera natin as the highest form of love in the PNP hierarchy of police values? Letter A, love of women. B, selfless love of people. C, love of God. D, love of power. So considering, mag-isip kayo dyan, yung mga nanonood ngayon sa ating live, ano yung pinakang may highest form of love? Ang isasagot natin syempre dyan is letter C. This is love of God. Ano yung may highest form of love? So wag niyong isasagot po ha, ang alpha. Never yan magiging love of women. Patay tayo dyan. Pag sinagot sa board exam, love of women. Ano, pangalawang tanong pa lang. Wala na, hindi na tatamaan. So mali yun. Ano, ang may highest form of love is love of God. So indicate po natin, ma'am, ano pa po yung included sa ating PNP hierarchy of police value? So ilagay po natin, the PNP core values. The PNP core values. Number 1, ang may highest form of love, indicate natin is the love of God. Ano pa ang included, ma'am, sa PNP core values? Kasama din po dyan, number 2 is the respect for authority. Respect for authority. So, ano magiging indication lang dyan? Siyempre, nag-i-start ka palagi doon sa simula, sa pinakang mababa. Ano, kung ikaw man ay naging isang PO1 na patrolman or patrolwoman, kaya ikaw po ay anong gagawin mo kapag may nakasalubong ka, like for example na mas mataas sa iyo, syempre magpapakita ka ng pagrespeto in a form of what? You are saluting. Ano, sasalute ka po, and as addressing or bibigyan ng title kasabay ng pagsaludo is babanggitin mo yung tinatawag na ma'am and sir natin. Next po, ano pang included sa PNP core values? Number 3 is the selfless love. Number 3 is the selfless love and service to people. And service to people. Dahil anong sinabi? Dapat po ang uunahin is people's interest, not your personal interest. Yun po lagi ang indication when it comes to PNP core values. Next po natin, number 4, under pa rin ng PNP core values is the sanctity of marriage. Is the sanctity of marriage and respect for women. And respect for women. Ma'am, bakit kasama ang sanctity of marriage and respect for women? May, di ba kapag nasa service na, nagkakandak yan syempre ng mga a form of social decorum kung saan kailangan legal na pamilya ang lagi mong kasama. Ano po? When it comes to celebrating, kung anniversary man yan ng PNP mismo o kaya any other form of social decorum, legal na pamilya ang isinasama po. Ano, kaya iniingatan ang sanctity of marriage. Next po natin, number 5, under pa rin ng PNP core values is responsible dominion. Responsible dominion. Dominion and stewardship over material things. Wait lang, ating i-adjust ang sulat. And stewardship over material things. Di nakasya pala. And stewardship. Stewardship over material things. So, dito natin nilagay sa may ibabaw. Over material things. So, kasama po yan. Material things. Bakit? Dahil dapat kapag ikaw po ay nasa service na, nakapasok na kayo sa serbisyo, dapat iwasan o wag na wag kayong magiging biktima o kayo mismo ang mag-i-enforce ng corruption nating tinatawag sa loob or during the performance of your duty. And number 6 po natin, under the PNP core values. And number 6 is the truthfulness. So, yan po yung bumubuo under the PNP core values. So, sa number 2 natin, considered as the highest form of love in the PNP hierarchy of police values, this pertains to letter C. Love of God. Wag na wag isasagot ang love of women, ha? Hindi rin kasama yung selfless love of people. And, syempre, yung love of power. Dahil wag kang pakukulong sa powered po na yan. Dahil hindi porket nasa service ka is meron ka ng karapatan na mangmaliit o kaya po ay mangmanipula ng ibang tao. So number 2, letter C. Charlie po yan. Number 2 is Charlie. Next number. Number 3. A manifestation of love for country. May 4 po dapat to. A manifestation of love for country with a pledge of allegiance to the flag and a vow to defend the Constitution. So anong kino-considered na manifestation of love for country with a pledge of allegiance to the flag and a vow to defend the Constitution? So number 3, letter A, nationalism. B, patriotism. C, heroism. And D, valor. What will be the answer? Yung mga nanonood dyan sa live natin. So isipin nyo lang. So sa number 3, this pertains to what? Number 3 natin, nationalism, patriotism, heroism, and D, valor. So the answer will be letter B, patriotism. Patriotism po yan. Ano? It is simply defines as a love for country. So kahit ganyan lang, love for country. This pertains to patriotism. Love for country. So yan yung sinasabi ni ma'am, ano, kapag hindi mismo lumabas yung halimbawa binibigay naming question, dahil dapat uunawain mo yung kahulugan ng tanong. Hindi word by word ay i-memorize po. So naiba lang ang construction pero iisa lang din po ang tinutukoy. So this pertains to Bravo. Patriotism po yan. Ma'am, what is nationalism? So the difference ng nationalism sa patriotism, nationalism involves national identity. National identity and a superior feeling. And a superior feelings or feeling toward one's own nation. Towards one's own nation. So it is considered as love for country din. But it also involves national identity and a superior feelings toward one's own nation. Kumbaga, loyal ka naman dun sa own country mo. But you are also adopting and respecting other people's culture, other people's laws, and other people's tradition. So yun po yung sinasabi when it comes to nationalism and patriotism. So ano naman po yung tinatawag natin na heroism, mga mamat sir? So heroism pertains to an act. It pertains to an act performed in the face of danger. In the face of danger. But not necessary, kapag tinatawag po nating danger na yan, it is always not necessary na during the battle or during the war. But not necessary. So, yun ang tatandaan. But not necessary in battle. In battle or in war. So, hindi palagi. So, ikaw naman ay meron din tayong tinatawag na actions under the heroism kung saan kahit hindi ka naman po nasa under ng kahit anong agency or kahit hindi ka nasa service, may mga ganyang tao pa rin. Na nakakagawa ng kabayanihan. Not necessarily na palaging nasa battle or sa war. Ano naman yung kinaibahan when it comes to valor? When it comes to valor naman po, it is called as the extreme heroism. It is called as the extreme heroism in a combat or battle. In a combat or battle nating tinatawag. Kaya nga kapag nakagawa ka ng kagitingan, kabayanihan during the performance of your duty, may binibigay dyan. Meron tayong tinatawag na Medal of Valor. Like for example, napuputol. Wait lang, iangat natin. Kaya nga tayo may tinatawag or binibigyan ang isang bayani o kaya yung tao nakagawa ng kagitingan ng example natin, tinatawag na Medal of Valor. So yun po ang differences when it comes to heroism and valor. Tandaan, when it comes to heroism, not always necessary na during battle. Kahit hindi ka nasa service, hindi ka nagpe-perform ng duties or responsibilities, pwede kang makagawa ng kabayanihan. Ano? While sa valor po natin is it is called as the extreme heroism during a combat or a battle or during war. Kaya po during the performance of your duty. So yun po ang differences ng patriotism sa nationalism and heroism sa valor po nating tinatawag. So sa number 3 natin, a manifestation of love for country with pledge of allegiance to the flag and a vow to defend the Constitution. This will fall to letter B. Patriotism. Number 3 is bravo. Next number. Number 4. Under this ethical standard, the PNP member shall take legitimate means to achieve goals despite of internal or external difficulties. So inuulit, under the ethical standard, the PNP member shall take legitimate means to achieve goals despite of internal or external difficulties. Letter A, integrity. Letter B, humility. Letter C, orderliness. And D, perseverance or perseverance. Ano pang magiging answer natin? Under this ethical standard, when it comes to achieving goals despite of internal or external difficulties, tinatawag po itong perseverance or perseverance. Ano po? Tinatawag natin yang perseverance. Ma'am, ano naman po yung tinatawag natin as integrity under the ethical standards? So isulat natin, ano-ano po yung kasama doon sa tinatawag nating ethical standards. Ethical standards. Number one po natin is the morality. May tinatawag tayong morality. When it comes to ethical standard, morality defines or signifies to set a good example. To set a good example to others. Bakit daw po it signifies as to set a good example to others? Dahil anong ini-indicate when it comes to morality under the ethical standards? That police officer, PO na lang, police officer, that police officer must adhere. That police officer must adhere high standards of morality. High standards of morality. So yan yung una, under the ethical standards, morality. Next po natin, under pa rin ng ethical standards, meron po tayong tinatawag na judicious use of authority. Judicious use of authority. Authority. So anong sinabi under the judicious use of authority? Dapat daw po is the police officer must legitimate use what? A judicious use of authority. Kaya nga tayo may tinatawag na, sino aware po sa term na police discretion nating tinatawag? So yung police discretion na yan, it indicates the wise use of judgment. It indicates the wise use of judgment. So alam mo naman ang tama sa mali, alam mo ang proseso when it comes to performing your duty. So this will fall to judicious use of authority. Next po natin, under pa rin ng ethical standard, number 3 is may tinatawag po tayong integrity. May tinatawag po tayong integrity. O yung sa Tagalog, is considered as dangal. Ano? Dangal ng isang tao. So under the integrity, sinasabi po dito that police officer, PO na lang po ulit, that police officer shall not allow themselves to be the victim of corruption and dishonesty. To be the victim of corruption and dishonesty. And dishonesty. dishonesty. So, yun yung ini-indicate. Kapag may dangal ka, bilang isang tao o hindi bilang isang pulis. Ano po? So, dapat hindi ka mismo mag-enforce o kaya ikaw yung magiging biktima ng corruption and dishonesty during your work or during the performance of your duty. So, ingatan ang dangal. Ano po? Para hindi masira ang imahe mo bilang isang pulis. Next natin. Number 4, under pa rin ng ethical standard is the justice itself. Is the term justice. Kung saan we are giving those individual his or her rightful due. So yun yung ini-indicate when it comes to justice. Ma'am, ano pa daw po ang kasama ng ethical standards nating tinatawag? So itaas lang natin, no? Ibalik natin dito. So papahiin lang ni ma'am ano po dahil may kasama pa. Ma'am, ano pa daw po ang kasama under ng tinatawag nating ethical standards? So, number 5 is the term humility. Wait lang, di lang mapahi agad. So, next natin, the term humility. Kung mayroon tayong integrity or dangal sa Tagalog, is meron naman po tayong tinatawag na humility. Next is humility. Or simply as your humbleness as a person. Your humbleness as a person. Lahat naman ng tao, ano po, may yabang yan sa katawan. Pero wag naman yung sobra. Ano po, when it comes to performing your duty, humility is a must. Ano, kung saan, under the humility, police officer or the PO shall perform their duties. Shall perform their duties without arrogance. Without arrogance. Kaya nga dapat, you must have humbleness in your body. You must have humbleness in your body. Dahil as a police officer, hindi ka naman magsaserve as the master of the people. Ano po? Hindi ka magsaserve as the master of the people. Kumbaga, ikaw is yung magiging aid or ikaw yung bibigay ng tulong para doon sa kailangan man na serbisyo ng mga tao sa komunidad. And next natin, under the ethical standards pa rin, may tinatawag tayong orderliness. Orderliness. So when we are performing duties, kapag tayo ay nasa serbisyo o kapag kayo ay makakapasok sa serbisyo, under orderliness, ang mga police officer po ay sumusunod doon sa tinatawag nating logical procedure. Logical procedure. So lahat is may proseso. Ano kung paano man po natin gawin? Halimbawa, kung kayo man ay magkakandak ng investigation, kung kayo man ay magkakandak para makapag-obtain ng evidences. So lahat po is may sinusunod tayong logical procedure. And lastly po natin is the term perseverance. Perseverance. Kung saan yun yung naka-indicate po natin sa question number 4. Wherein the PNP shall take legitimate means to achieve goals despite of internal or external difficulties. So number 4, this pertains to perseverance. Number 4 is delta. So yun po yung bumubuo under the ethical standard. 1 is morality, 2 is judicious use of authority, 3 is integrity, 4 justice, 5 humility, 6 orderliness, and 7 is perseverance. Next number 5. Which of the following is not a police custom on courtesy? Alin daw po sa mga sumusunod choices natin ang hindi kabilang doon sa tinatawag nating police custom on courtesy? A. Salute. B. Giving gifts. C. Address or title. D. Courtesy call. So sa number 5, kinukonsider na hindi kasama under the police custom on courtesy is what? So number 5, the answer will be letter B. The answer will be letter B. So yan pong nasa letter A, salute, nasa letter C, address or title, and nasa letter D is part of the of the police custom on courtesy. Ma'am, ano po yung ini-indicate when we are pertaining to salute? Salute is considered as a visual greeting. It is considered as a visual greeting kung saan it shows respect. Doon po sa mga nakakataas na otoridad sa atin kung tayo man ay nagsisimula pa lamang sa serbisyo. Next, ma'am, ano naman po yung tinatawag as the address or title? Kagaya ng sinabi ni ma'am kanina, kapag kayo nakapasok na sa serbisyo and nakakasalubong kayo sa loob po ng unit kung saan man kayo nagtatrabaho, nakasalubong kayo ng mas may mataas na ranggo, beside po sa pagsaludo is i-address nyo sila as a ma'am or as a sir. So, yan po ang indication when it comes to address or title. Tinatawag din po yan as a verbal greeting. Tinatawag din po yan as a verbal greeting. So, another form of showing respect pa rin po yan. Verbal greeting. And lastly po natin is meron din po tayong tinatawag bukod sa pagsaludo, pagbibigay ng address or title, and besides sa courtesy call, next is meron din po tayong tinatawag as the salute to national color. As the salute to national color or national standard. National standard. Ang tinatawag natin as the national color is pertaining to our flag itself. Pertaining to our flag itself. So, number 5, alin ang hindi kabilang under the police custom and courtesy? This will fall to letter B, giving gifts. Hindi po yan kasama. Number 5 is bravo. Next number 6. This must be performed by an agent who decides willfully to perform the act. The statement is referring to blank. This must be performed by an agent who decides willfully to perform the act. The statement is referring to blank. A, morality. B, ethics. C, acts of man. And D, human acts. So kapag daw po ginawa o perform ito ng isang agent, kung saan siya ay willfully or with his own volition, is pinerform niya yung action po na yun. This pertains to letter D. This pertains to human acts. Ma'am, anong magiging example? Kung saan ginawa ito ng isang agent or he is willfully perform such action. Ano pong magiging example natin? Like for example, under the human acts, yung pagtatrabaho, working. Dahil sa kagustuhan mong kumita pang sarili, makapag-provide sa pamilya, ano po, you're willing to do the job para makapag-provide. So, example natin, working. Ano pa? O kaya po is yung pagkain, like for example, uri po yan ng human acts nating tinatawag. Wait lang. Human acts. Ano pa? Yung tinatawag din po nating obedience or pagsunod. Like for example, sa mga simple rules and regulation. Obedience. And ano naman po ang kinaibahan ng human acts sa acts of man, mga ma'am at sir? Kung ang human acts is performed by an agent who decides willfully to perform the acts of man are instinctive. Are instinctive. Such as psychological o yung tinatawag po natin psychological in nature. Psychological in nature. So ma'am, ano naman pong magiging example nitong acts of man nating tinatawag? So ilagay lang natin dito sa taas. Kung sa human acts, like for example natin, simple, working, eating, obedience, pagsunod sa mga simple rules and regulation. Under the acts of man naman po is the circumstances of ignorance. Example natin, una, circumstances of ignorance. Kapag sinabing ang acts of man considered as instinctive such as psychological in nature, as an individual, may iba-iba po tayong IQ level. Kumbaga nating tawagin. Ano po? Ano pa ang example? Bukod sa circumstances of ignorance, pwede din po dyan yung passion mo as an individual. As an individual, bilang under the acts of man or uri ng psychological in nature. As an, yung example natin sa passion, like for example, ang gusto mo is maging doctor. May mga ganun tayong instances. O kaya paglaki ang gusto mo is maging police. O kaya paglaki ang gusto mo is maging nurse. And next po natin, besides sa fashion, kasama din example natin is the violence and kasama din po yung mga habit natin as an individual. So may mga iba-iba tayong mannerism as an individual. Instinctive, kumbaga normally nating nagagawa dahil ito ay psychologically in nature. So, yun po ang differences ng human acts sa acts of man. Kung sa human acts may nag-i-indicate or may nagtitrigger dyan na para gawin mo itong bagay na ito, while sa acts of man po, it is instinctive. Laging tatandaan. Wherein normally makikita mo sa isang individual. So, yun po ang differences when it comes to human acts and acts of man. Ma'am, ano naman po yung tinatawag natin as ethics? So dito po natin, isulat yan sa baba. Yung tinatawag nating ethics. So ethics in general po, it is derived from two Greek words. It is derived from two Greek words. Ano po yung dalawang Greek word na yon? Number one is yung tinatawag natin as ethos. Number one is yung tinatawag nating ethos, wherein ethos indicate as the characteristic ways of acting. Characteristic ways of acting. And number two na Greek word pertaining to ethics is the word ethikos. Is the word ethikos, wherein ethikos defined as customary. Customary or customary. In Tagalog, ito po yung kinaugalian. Kinaugalian ng isang individual o pangkaraniwang makikita mong ugali ng isang individual. Pangkaraniwan. So, yun po ang differences ng dalawang Greek word pertaining to ethics. Number one is ethos and number two is ethikos. Ano pa? When we are pertaining to ethics, number two, definition. Ethics is also called as the science of morality of human acts. Science of morality. Morality of human acts. Ma'am, bakit it is considered as the science of morality of human acts? Dahil this serve or ang nag-i-indicate dito when we are talking about human acts, dapat daw po is meron tayong tinatawag na mga action that is done, number one, knowingly. Action that is done knowingly. Next, number two, actions or acts that is done deliberately. Deliberately. And lastly po is acts or action that is done freely. That is done freely. So, ma'am, ano yung kino-considered na human acts or action that is done knowingly? Under the knowingly term, you are performing an action daw po or you are understanding what you are doing. Like for example, ano bang ginagawa nyo ngayon? Naiintindihan nyo na kaya kayo nanonood po ng live session natin ngayon is para magkaroon ng idea sa flow na gagawin natin during our proper review session. So, yun yung example as an act or naiintindihan natin yung actions na ginagawa po natin. Next, ma'am, ano daw naman po? When the act is done deliberately. Ibig sabihin, ginawa mo yung isang action intentionally. Intentionally. Like for example, you done a crime. Nakagawa ka po ng isang krimen. Ano? So, intention mo halimbawa na pumatay ng isang tao. So, yun yung example natin that you are doing the action intentionally. And lastly, when we are pertaining doon sa mga action that is done freely, ibig sabihin may freedom ka dito. Ano? Nagawin po yung isang action. O kumbaga, voluntarily mong ginawa yung isang action. So yun po yung tinatawag natin na human acts wherein may tatlo tayong factors. Wherein papasok dyan yung mga actions that is done knowingly. Number 2, actions that is done deliberately. And number 3, actions that is done freely. So yun po ang indication when we are pertaining to ethics in general. Number 1 definition, nanggaling po yan, tandaan, sa dalawang Greek word, the ethos and ethikos. And number 2, it is considered as the science of morality of human acts. So, yun po ang pinagkakaiba-iba ng mga nasa choices. So, the number 6, this must perform by an agent who decide willfully to perform the act. This will fall to human acts. So, ano ang kinaibahan? Sa acts of man, laging tatandaan ang differences. Ang acts of man is instinctive. Normally mong makikita sa isang individual. So, number 6 is delta. Next number. Number 7, unestablished usage or social practices carried on by tradition that has obtained the force of the law. Unestablished usage or social practices carried on by tradition that has obtained the force of the law. A, customs. B, mores. C, tradition. D, values. What will be our answer po sa number 7? So this will fall to letter A. Tinatawag po yan as custom. Tinatawag po yan as custom. Ma'am, ano naman po yung kinukonsider natin as mores? Mores po is kinukonsidered natin as the norms of morality. Tinatawag po natin yan as the norms of morality. That if you break, like for example, if you break one actions that under ng isang norms of morality, if you break one, it is often considered offensive to other people. Considered offensive to other people. So, yun po yung tinatawag natin as mores. Ano magiging example natin yan? Lagyan natin ng example. O, nilagay ko lang po sa taas. Like for example, pagsisinungaling. Considered yan as the norms of morality. Dahil ano nga ang tawag natin when it comes to morality? This indicates the righteous or the goodness acts of a people or an individual. So, ano magiging example natin? Halimbawa, na-break mo yung norms of morality tinatawag o naggumawa ka o nagsinungaling ka sa isang tao o kaya po ay din doon sa ginagawa mo sa isang tao. Ano pa? Pwede din po, example natin is cheating. Ano pa po? Next natin is yung tinatawag natin as the marriage belief. Yung tinatawag natin, kasama din po dyan yung mga paniniwala when it comes to conducting marriage o kaya po ay celebrating the marriage of couples. Kung yan man ay parte ng pamilya ninyo o kaya po is ng other relatives po ninyo. Next natin, ma'am, ano naman po ang kinaibahan ng mores sa tradition? So kung ang mores is sinatawag as the norms of morality, ang tradition naman po, it is considered as the bodies of beliefs. It is considered as the bodies of beliefs. Ano pa? Also, the bodies of customs nating tinatawag. Ano pa po? Also, the bodies of stories. Bodies of stories and usages. And usages from one generation. From one generation to other generation. Other generation. So, ano mga example natin ng tradition? Halimbawa po, yung laging sinasabi ng mga elderlies. Ano? Halimbawa, kapag kayo is galing sa pakikipaglamay, ano po? Kailangan daw magpagpag muna. For example, yun yung mga tradition. Ano pa? Consider din yung kinakandak po natin na reunion. For example, dahil tayo mga Pilipino is sobrang intact tayo doon sa family na tinatawag. Ano po, kung saan minemaintain natin yung relationship within one another. So, yun po yung mga example ng traditions nating tinatawag. Ano pa? Example ng tradition. Halimbawa, naririnig ko din sinasabi, bawal magwalis sa gabi. Ano daw po? Dahil tinataboy daw. For example, yung swerte. So, yun yung mga general example of tradition. And lastly po natin, yung tinatawag nating values is what? It is the degree of importance. Kino-considered po ito as the degree of importance. Yung degree of importance na binibigay natin sa isang bagay man yan, sa isang tao man yan, o sa isang trabaho man yan, na nangyayari sa ating buhay. So, yun po yung values nating tinatawag. Ano? Kung saan nagkakaroon tayo ng degree of importance. So, sa number 7, an established usage or social practice carried on by tradition that has obtained the force of the law. This will pertain to alpha. Customs po yan. Customs po yan. So, yan yung differences when it comes to custom, mores, tradition, and values. So, number 7, this pertains to alpha. Next number. Number 8. Any public officer who agrees to perform an act constituting a crime in connection with the performance of his official duties in consideration of any offer. Ano pa daw po? Promise, gift, or present received by such officer personally or through the mediation of another shall be liable for the blank. Base sa tanong, saan daw po magiging liable si public officer if he or she agrees to perform such act? Base sa question, A, direct bribery, B, indirect bribery, C, malversation, D, illegal exaction. So what will be your answer, mga ma'am at sir? Ay, sorry, excuse me. Sa number 8, ano magiging sagot po natin sa actions po na yan? So this pertains to what? Magiging sagot natin is what? Sa number 8. Wait lang po. Sorry, makati lang lalamunan. So, ano magiging sagot natin sa number 8? This will pertain to direct bribery. If you agree to perform an act constituting a crime na base sa sinabi or sa situation na binigay sa question number 8. Ma'am, ano po ang differences when it comes to direct bribery and indirect bribery? Ang direct bribery po makikita natin sa article 210, while the indirect bribery makikita natin sa Article 211. Makikita po saan yan? Yung Article 210, Article 211 na yan sa Title 7 ng Revised Penal Code. So makikita po yan sa Title 7 ng Revised Penal Code. So anong indication naman po? Kapag sa indirect bribery, hindi ikaw kumbaga po yung nag-insist ng pagbibigay, like for example ng pakonsuelo kumbaga, o kaya is ng kapalit na bagay nung actions na gusto niyang, halimbawa ako si ma'am, nung action na gusto kong ipagawa sa isang officer po na ito. So hindi dapat itong officer na tong mag-i-insist kumbaga ako para mangyari yung tinatawag nating indirect bribery po na yan. Ma'am, ano naman daw po yung malversation nating tinatawag? Malversation is considered as the embezzlement. Malversation is considered as the embezzlement. Ano pa daw po? It is also called as the misbehavior. It is also called as the misbehavior and especially corruption. And especially corruption in an office. Corruption in an office. Ano pa daw? So, tinatawag nating trust or commission. Or commission. So, nangyayari yan, like for example, is a government din natin. Ano po? yung embezzlement or yung tinatawag natin as the misbehavior, especially corruption in a form of corruption na nangyayari sa office, sa trust or commission under the government agency. And last po natin, yung nasa letter D, is yung tinatawag natin as the illegal exaction. Dito po natin sa baba isulat. Ma'am, ano pong example ng illegal exaction nating tinatawag? Diyan po papasok yung collection of taxes. Ano pa daw po? Of the imposed or other. Collection of taxes, imposed or other fees. Other fees due to the government. Due to the government. Ma'am, paano po magawa or paano makandak o paano masasabi na illegal exaction na yung ginagawa ng isang individual? So, meron po tayong ways to commit illegal exaction. 3 ways to commit illegal exaction. Number 1, if you are demanding an amount. Number 1, if you are demanding an amount different from what the law authorizes. Different from what the law authorizes. From what the law authorized. Like for example, halimbawa, ang babayaran or ang fee or ang dues mo lang for example is 750 pesos. Pero biglang demand nung agent or ng staff na po yun na ang fees or due mo is babayaran mo is naging 950. Like for example, ano po? So you are demanding an amount. Kumbaga, iba yung amount na sinisingil mo sa isang individual. Base doon sa kung anong nakasaad sa kung magkano dapat po ang sisingilin mo. Next, ano pa? Yung ways po natin to commit illegal exaction. Number 2, if you voluntary failure to issue receipt. Voluntary failure to issue receipt. Diba kapag tayo kukuha, especially ng mga papers, under the government, loob ng gobyerno po na yan, yung mga papel natin kukunin, mahalaga na meron o manghingi tayo ng resibo. Dahil doon natin makikita kung talagang tama po ba yung price or yung dues or fees na ini-issue sa atin under ng government staff po na yan. And lastly, number 3 is the collection of the nature. Collection of the nature of payment. Payment is different from or that prescribed by law. From or that is prescribed by law. So parang kapares lang po nung nasa number 1 natin to commit illegal exaction. So iba yung sinisingil or iba yung nakalagay doon sa resibo kumpara doon sa kung magkano talaga ang presyo na babayaran natin. So illegal exaction po yun. So yun ang differences sa direct bribery, indirect bribery, malversation, and illegal exaction. So sa number 8, this pertain to direct bribery. Number 8 pertain to direct bribery. Next, number 9. Number 9, a feeling of frustration that dictated a person to think and give consent in possible things that he might commit is called what? Ano po yung tawag doon sa feeling of frustration ng isang individual that dictated a person then to think and give consent in possible things that he might commit is called what? A, human acts, B, elicited acts, C, commanded acts, and letter D, acts of man. Ano magiging sagot natin dyan? A feeling of frustration? So this pertains to elicited acts. This pertains to elicited acts. So kanina natakal na natin ang differences ng human acts sa acts of man. Pag-usapan naman po natin yung differences patungkol sa tinatawag nating elicited acts and commanded acts. So kung ang elicited acts is a feeling of frustration that dictated a person to think and give consent in possible things that he might commit, ang commanded acts naman po is when someone, it is considered when someone is ordered. Yung term natin, tatandaan, is ordered to do something. To do something. So, yun po ang differences when it comes to elicited acts and commanded acts. Under the elicited acts, meron pa po yung uri. So ano-ano yung uri? Dito po natin ilagay sa ibaba. Ano po yung types of elicited acts? Elicited acts. Number 1, meron tayong tinatawag na wish. Number 1, meron po tayong tinatawag na wish. Kung saan, wish pertaining to a simple love of anything. Halimbawa, you are wishing for something. Na makuha o makamit mo yung bagay man na yan. Kung ano man yung hinihiling mo sa buhay or in a certain situation. Number 2, types of elicited acts is meron din po tayong tinatawag na intention. Meron tayong tinatawag na intention. Kung saan, under the intention, the purpose of it is the tendency of your will towards a thing. Yung intention mo or yung deliberate action mo para makapag-exert ka ng isang actions. Like for example, wini-wish mo halimbawa na makuha ang lisensya na yan. So anong intention mo? So papasok para makuha ang lisensya natin na tinatawag wherein kayo ay magiging isang registered criminologist is what? Gagawin mo yung mga certain actions po. Magre-review ka ng maayos, magbabasa ka, makikinig, uunawain ng maayos ang tanong. Para sa actual board exam is masagot mo lahat ng tanong. Ano po? Next naman natin, number 3, nauri pa rin ng elicited acts. Nandyan din po yung tinatawag nating consent. So, hindi ko sinusulat muna yung direct definition. Binabanggit na lang ni ma'am. Dahil matatakal naman po natin yan sa proper review natin. Magkikita-kita naman tayo sa September. Ano po? Face-to-face. So, ano pa? Types of elicited acts. Number 3 is consent. Kung saan, under nito, the acceptance by the will of the means necessary to carry out attention. To carry out attention. So, papasok yung consent nating tinatawag. And next, types of elicited acts pa rin po natin. Meron po tayong tinatawag na election. Meron tayong tinatawag na election. And number 5, meron po tayong tinatawag na use. And lastly, meron tayong tinatawag na fruition. Natin pong tinatawag. Fruition. So when it comes to election, halimbawa, kayo ay under ng isang government agency. Siyempre, may mga boss dyan. And yung mga staff or members na sumusunod doon sa bosses. Ano po, para ma-achieve yung goals, for example, so sa election ng pinag-uusapan natin, para ma-achieve yung goals po, nating tinatawag for the succession of the company. So magka-come up kung ano yung mga better ways or actions or alternative resolution para po maging successful yung kumpanya. So dyan papasok yung different opinions ng isang individual. So number 5, by the term use po, it is the employment of your will. So dyan napapasok yung action or yung ine-exert mong effort para po ma-perform mo yung mga bagay na dapat mong gawin para ma-achieve yung goals na yun. And lastly is the fruition nating tinatawag. Diyan na yung resulta ng mga bagay na ginawa mo para po makamit mo yung hinihiling mo nung unang-una pa lamang. So, kagaya ng binibigay kong example kanina is yung makamit nyo po yung inyong license. So, yun yung types of elicited acts po nating tinatawag. While sa commanded acts, meron naman po tayong 3. Types of commanded act. Commanded acts, meron tayong 3. Number 1, may tinatawag tayong internal acts. Kung may internal, number 2, meron din po tayong tinatawag na external acts. And number 3 is yung mix nung dalawa. Kung saan the employment of the bodily power and the mental power. Mix. Alin po dyan ang under the bodily power? Under the bodily power is the external acts. Bodily power. So this exert the bodily power while the internal acts exerting the mental power nating tinatawag. And yung number 3 na types of commanded acts is mix. Ano? Kung saan the employment of both the mental power and the bodily power. So yun po ang differences ng elicited sa commanded acts. So sa number 9 natin, the feeling of frustration, this will fall to elicited acts. Number 9 is bravo. Next, number 10. The following are the basic foundation of good community relation, except the following are the basic foundation of a good community relation, except. So maliban sa isa, when we are pertaining to good community relation, ang involved po dyan is palaging the police and the community. Community. So tatandaan po ha, para ma-determine ang foundation of a good community relation, tatandaan na palaging ang involved po dyan is police and the community itself. So, alin ang hindi kasama? A, sincerity in serving the public. B, high standard of operation. C, deep conviction in the nobility of work. And D, sound professional ethics. So, sa question number 10, alin ang hindi kasama sa basic foundation of good community relation? So, this will fall to letter D. Hindi po kasama ang letter D. Since ang nasa question is except, hindi kasama ang letter D. Ma'am, ano po yung word na nagpamali po? Sa question number 10 natin, ano yung word na nagpamali? Kailangan po hindi professional yung word. It is called as the sound police ethics. Sound police ethics. So ano mga basic foundation of good community relation? Letter A, sincerity in serving the public. Kasama din po yung high standard of operation. Kasama din ang deep conviction in the nobility of work. And lastly, the right term or phrase is sound police ethics, not sound professional ethics. Number 10 is delta, since except ang nasa question. Number 10 is delta. Next number 11. So tapos na tayo ano po sa mga sample question under the professional ethics and values. Ito naman po yung mga sample question under the character formation 1 and 2 po ninyo. So number 11, it is the ideology based on the premise that individuals' loyalty to the nation. Also, it may surpass the other individual or group. Ano daw po yung kinokonsidera as form of ideology? Na ang basehan is the premise of an individual's loyalty to the nation. A, patriotism. B, nationalism. C, idealism. And D, none of this. What will be the answer? Sa number 11, this pertains to nationalism. This pertains to nationalism. So kanina, sa professional ethics and values, nabigyan na ng definition ni Ma'am yan kung anong pinagkaiba sa nationalism and patriotism. Ma'am, bakit po pinaghalo ang professional ethics and values and character formation? Dahil parang halos magka-dikit or parang halos magkaugnay po yung dalawang subject po na yan. Ano, kumbaga nagtutugma yung mga terms and situation under this subject. So ano nga po uli ang patriotism? It is simply defined as love for country. Nasabi natin kanina doon sa naunang question. It is simply defined as love for country or about to defend the Constitution. So, yun po ang differences. Ma'am, ano naman po ang tinatawag natin as idealism? Idealism holds that ideas constitute the only or the most perfect reality. Only or the most perfect reality. So, yun po yung tinatawag natin as idealism. Ma'am, ano magiging example natin dyan para mas maunawaan yung idealism na tinatawag? Like for example, as an individual, you dream for perfection. You dream for or of perfection. Perfection. Oh, like for example, halimbawa ikaw po ay laki sa hirap. Ano po? Hindi naman marangya yung pamilyang kinagisnan mo. So, under the idealism, para makaalis ka po sa estado ng buhay ninyo na ganyan, is magsusumikap ka sa buhay. Ano po? Para maiangat yung estado ng buhay ng inyong pamilya. So, yun yung idealism na tinatawag. Kumbaga, nagke-create ka ng better future. Ano po? Para kung sa ganon, hindi ka na ma-stuck doon sa level or estado ng buhay na ganyan ka na lamang kung tawagin. Dahil ano nga ang ating dapat maging mindset, hindi habang buhay na andyan ka lamang. Ano po, gagawa at gagawa tayo ng actions para mapayabong ang ating buhay o kaya para mapabuti ang ating buhay. So yun po yung idealism nating tinatawag. So sa number 11, this pertain to nationalism. Na iba lang uli yung construction ng tanong pero iisa lang po ang tinutukoy. Gaya nung nasa naunang question kanina. So number 11, the answer will be Bravo. Next number 12. According to RA 8491, it is considered as the national gem of the Philippines. According to RA 8491, it is considered as the national gem of the Philippines. A, gold. B, silver. C, pearl. D, none of this. So, ang kinukonsidera as under ng RA 8491 na national gem ng Pilipinas is letter C. Kaya nga tayo tinatawag na ang Pilipinas ay tinatawag bilang perlas ng silanganan. Perlas ng silanganan. O tinatawag tayo as Pearl of the Orient Sea. Tinatawag tayo as the Pearl of the Orient Sea. Orient Sea. So yun po. Kaya kinukonsidered ang national gem ng Pilipinas is pearl. Letter C. Hindi po gold hindi silver. So sa number 12, the answer will be Charlie. Under the RA 8491. Number 12 is Charlie. Next, number 13. It is considered, number 13 is the consideration of Carabao as our national animal official. Is the consideration of Carabao as our national animal official. Kapag ang tanong ended in a question mark, palaging ang isasagot or it is answerable by yes or no. And if kapag ang nasa question is a form of statement na nagtatapos sa period, palaging it is answerable by true or false. So iwasan, tips sa board exam, wag kang sasagot ng maybe. Ano po? Yung hindi ka sigurado. So para mas mataas ang chances na tamaan ng tanong, i-exclude agad yung choices na malabong-malabong maging sagot. Ano, dun po sa question na binibigay. So, is the consideration of Carabao as our national hero, as our national animal official? Yes or no? So, ang magiging sagot po natin dyan is letter B. Hindi po kinukonsidered ang Carabao as our national animal. O, bigyan natin ng paliwanag. Ma'am, bakit hindi kinukonsidered as official? Dahil kapag tinawag po na national or official national animal ang Carabao, pinag-uusapan, inote po natin na dapat kapag under the Philippine national symbols, laging tatandaan kapag sinabing official, mako-considered lang po na official lang yan kapag it is declared. It is declared through a law. Through a law or a proclamation. Or a proclamation. So, dineclare po ba ng batas or ng proclamation na ang national animal is carabao? So, no po. Hindi siya official. Pero kinu-consider natin bilang mga Pilipino na ang pangbansang animal or hype natin is carabao. So, para lang makonsider, since ang nasa question, official ba yan? Hindi po. Pero tandaan, kinukonsidera natin ang carabao as our national animal. So ano pa yung mga example ng mga national symbol natin na hindi siya officially declared by law or declared by a form of proclamation? Naandyan din, ma'am, kasama din yung Karenyosa. Di siya officially declared. Po, kaya nga nagtatalo kung Karenyosa ba o Tinikling ang pambansang sayaw na yan. Tinatawag. Ano pa? Kasama din, di rin officially declared by law. Yung pumpong pangbansang isda nating tinatawag kung saan yung bangus or milkfish. Po, hindi siya officially declared by law or a form of proclamation. Ano pa? Next natin is yung anahaw. So, hindi din po siya officially declared through a law or a proclamation na siya ay national. So, hindi po siya officially na dineclare. Pero kinukonsider natin ng Karenyosa, bangus at anahaw po na yan na parte ng ating national symbol. Ma'am, bakit po kinukonsider ng mga Pinoy ang carabao as our national animal? Though hindi naman po yan officially declared through a law or a proclamation. Dahil tayo ay kilala sa pagsasaka. Po? So bilang magsasaka o farmer, kinukonsider natin ang carabao as our best friend o yung katuwang talaga natin, katulong natin sa pagsasaka. Po? So kaya kinukonsider ng carabao as our national animal ng mga Pilipino. So kilala tayo sa agrikultura. So sa number 13, letter B. Hindi po, no. The consideration of carabao as our national animal official, no. So, number 13 is Bravo. Next, number 14. They are the ones responsible for making organizational policies and decisions. Sino daw po o sino-sino yung responsible for making organizational policies and decision? A. First line managers. B. Middle level managers. C. Top managers. And D. None of this. So, anong magiging sagot po ninyo? Sa number 14, sa tingin nyo, sino or sino-sino yung responsible for making the organizational policies and decision? So, this pertains to, the answer natin is letter C. Yung top managers po ang responsible for making organizational policies and for making decision para sa isang company. So ano po yung kinukonsider naman na trabaho o ano yung responsibility ng first line manager nating tinatawag? They are usually called as supervisor. They are usually called supervisors. Supervisor. Or in a manufacturing ay wait lang na doble. Or in a manufacturing, kino-considered po ang first line manager as foreman. Tinatawag po sila as foreman. Next naman natin, what are the responsibilities ng tinatawag po nating middle level managers? So ang responsibility po dyan is to comprise or compromise all management. Comprise all management level between the organization supervisory level and the top level. Between the organization supervisory level and the top level. So, siya yung pumapagitna, between the first line managers and the top managers. Sino po ang karaniwan? Or ano yung mga position na naandito under ng top managers nating tinatawag. So, dyan papasok like for example, the vice president. Sino pa? Or tinatawag natin as the managing director, for example. So, yan yung mga karaniwang position. Ano po? Directors. Ano pa? Sino-sino pa? Or anong position pa ang kasama sa top managers? Nandyan din po yung chief executive. Chief executive officer or the board chairman itself. Or the board chairman itself. So, yan yung mga position under the top managers. That's why sila po yung responsible doon sa paggawa ng organizational policies and decision na tinatawag po natin. So, number 14, the answer will be Charlie. Number 14, the answer will be Charlie. Tough managers po yan. So, responsibility po nila yan. Next, number. The following are competencies of a manager except. Ang mga sumusunod daw po is the competencies of a manager. So, ano yung mga requirement skills na dapat meron po ang isang manager except. So, maliban. So, alin ang hindi kabilang? A, human skills. B, conceptual skills. C, technical skills. And D, none of this. So, what will be our answer? And the answer will be, since except po ang nasa question, the answer will be delta. None of this. So, ang keyword na binibigay lagi dyan ni ma'am, under the competencies of a manager is the THC. THC. Ma'am, ano yung THC na yan? Na dapat ang isang manager ay meron pong technical skills. Next is meron pong human skills. And lastly, na dapat ang manager is merong tinatawag nating conceptual skills. So, under the human skill po, under pa rin ang competencies of a manager, kailangan is you have the skill to collaborate. You have the skill to collaborate with others. Through what? Through what medium? Through what tool? Or through what action? Through acknowledging the presence. Through acknowledging the presence of various perspective. Various perspective. Ano pa, bukod sa perspective, ibang opinion din na manggagaling po sa ibang tao. Ano? So, yun yung under ng human skill nating tinatawag. Kaya mong makipag-coordinate doon sa ibang tao para po makapag-come up kayo ng mas mabuting action or mas mabuting resolution when it comes to the succession of the company or of the management itself. So, yun yung human skill nating tinatawag. Ma'am, ano naman daw po yung under ng conceptual skill? Conceptual skill, dyan papasok yung pong unifying, ano pa, or organizing competent. Unifying, organizing competent. Competent of the administrative process. Of the administrative process nating tinatawag. So, dyan napapasok yung tinatawag natin as overall performance. Overall performance. Performance. Kung yung po bang concept na na-come up ninyo na under dito sa human skill, kung yung po bang concept na na-come up ninyo is naging successful or hindi siya naging successful or nagkaroon po ng various actions or ng tinatawag po natin na different, paano ba natin sabihin to? O yung nagkaroon po siya ng indication para hindi maging successful o hindi nyo ma-meet yung goals po na tinatawag natin. Ano po? So, yun yung under the conceptual skill. So, titingnan po dyan is the overall performance. And lastly po natin is yung tinatawag nating technical skill kung saan this requires understanding. This requires an understanding. Understanding to what or for what po. So, dyan napapasok po yung expertise ng isang or ng iba't ibang individual. So, dyan napapasok yung expertise of a particular person. Particular person. So, like for example, si ma'am ay magaling sa ganito. Si ma'am ay magaling sa ganyan. So, kaya nga tayo nagseselect ng mga staff na mayroong expertise na babagay sa posisyon na ito, na babagay sa posisyon na ganyan. So, yun po yung under ng technical skills na tinatawag. So, number 15 natin, the answer will be delta. Since except ang nasa question. Yan pong nasa letter A, nasa letter B, and nasa letter C is kasama sa mga competencies of a manager. So, ang keyword lagi tatandaan is THC. Technical skills, human skills, and conceptual skills. So number 15, the answer will be delta. Next number. Number 16. Filipinos who are educated elite class were called what? Filipinos who are educated elite class is or were called what? A. Principalia. B. Ilustrado. C. Indio. And D. None of this. So ano yung sasagot po natin? Anong kino-consider ng mga Pilipino who are educated elite class? So sino-sino yung tinatawag po natin na yun? The answer will be Bravo. Ilustrado po ang tawag doon sa mga Pilipinos who are educated elite class. So next, pag-usapan naman natin, what are the differences of ilustrado and yung tinatawag po nating principalya? So ang principalya is otherwise known as the novel class. Tinatawag din po sila as the novel class. Kung saan anong trabaho nito? This pertaining to the ruling and usually educated upper class. Upper class. In the pueblos. Natawag natin in the pueblos of the Spanish Philippines. Of the Spanish Philippines. Comprising the, may dalawa po tayo dyan. Tinatawag natin as the gobernadorcillo. Gobernadorcillo. So, ano yun na yung tinatawag na gobernadorcillo natin in this generation? So, ang tawag na natin dyan is the town mayor. Ano po? Is the town mayor or yung alcalde mayor. Alcalde mayor. And, meron din po tayong tinatawag na cabezas di barangay. Cabezas. Cabezas di barangay. Barangay. Na ngayong generation is tinatawag na natin as the barangay captain. Tinatawag na natin as the barangay captain. So yan po, yung kino-considered under the principalya or novel class. Under the principalya or novel class. So ano naman po ma'am, yung injo na tinatawag? So ano naman yung injo natin pong tinatawag? So ang injo kino-considered or tawag po dyan doon sa mga native or locals. Tawag po dyan doon sa mga native or locals. Yan po ay term ng mga Spaniards. Ano po? Tawag yan ng mga Spaniards sa ating mga Pinoy kung saan na meron daw pong brown-skinned inhabitants in island. Inhabitants in or of the island. Of the island. So yun yung tawag ng mga Espanyol. Indio. Doon sa may mga kayumanggi ang kulay na native or locals during the Spanish and Philippines colonization era. So, yun po yung Indio. So, number 16 natin, the answer will be ilustrado. The answer will be ilustrado. Ma'am, ano pa yung additional information when we are pertaining to ilustrado? So, ang mga ilustrado daw po, ang trabaho niyan or ang ginagawa niyan is to write essays. Is to write essays. Ano pa daw po, bukod sa essay, gumagawa din sila ng articles. Ano pa? Novels or even publication. Or even publication in news journal. In news journal nating tinatawag. Kung saan, yung news journal po na yon is tinatawag as the La Solidaridad. As the La Solidaridad. So, yun yung tawag sa news journal. Kung saan po, nakatala yung sinulat na essay, ginawang articles, ginawang novels, or publication ng mga ilustrado po nating tinatawag. So number 16, the answer will be Bravo. Filipinos who are considered educated elite class is called ilustrado. Next number 17. Next number 17. The three martyr priests. The three martyr priests known as the Gumbursa were executed during blank. The three martyr priests known as the Gumbursa. So, Gumbursa po ha, hindi Madjoha. Mali yung Madjoha. So, Gumbursa ang tawag sa tatlong paring martir. Kailan daw po sila na-execute? A. 1873, B. 1872, C. 1870, and lastly, letter D, none of this. The answer will be the three martyr priests known as the Gumbursa Puha, hindi Madjoha, were executed during letter B, 1872. Executed during 1872. So, ma'am, sino-sino po ang bumubuo sa tatlong paring martir? So, tatandaan natin yung Gumbursa na yan. Unahin natin po si Father Mariano Gomez. So, unahin natin si Father Mariano Gomez. So, doon nakuha yung term or yung word na gum. Yung unahin natin. So, dyan kinuha yung word na gum kay Father Mariano Gomez. So, si Father Mariano Gomez po is a Chinese Filipino. Ano po? Kung saan, tinatawag din siya as the most or mayroon siyang most senior position doon sa tatlong paring martyr. So, yan siya po yung mayroong most senior position. And tinatawag din siya as or nagsilbi din po siya as the Archbishops Bicol and Cavite. In Cavite. And next naman natin. So yan po ha, ang una sa tatlong paring martir. Next naman natin, sino pa ang kasama sa Gumbursa po na yan? Naandyan din si Father Jose Burgos. Naandyan din po si Father Jose Burgos. So, dyan naman po kinuha yung term na BUR o yung BUR. Kung kanina, GOM, Gumbur naman ang kasunod natin. So, dyan naman kinuha kay Father Jose Burgos. Si Father Jose Burgos naman po is a Spanish Filipino. Si Father Mariano Gomez is a Chinese Filipino, while Father Jose Burgos is a Spanish Filipino. So, nag-serve po siya as a parish priest sa Manila. Nag-serve po siya as a parish priest sa Manila. So, involved sila doon sa secularization nating tinatawag. Wait lang, di nasulat. Manila. Of Manila. So, lahat sila tatandaan is involved doon sa secularization nating tinatawag. And lastly, nabubuo sa Gumbursa po na yan o sa tatlong paring martir dito sa baba. Lastly po natin is si Father Jacinto Zamora. Father Jacinto Zamora. So, dyan naman po kinuha yung ZA. Kaya nabuo yung tatlong paring martir also known as the Gumbursa. So, sino naman po si Father Jacinto Zamora? Si Father Jacinto Zamora po is considered as a Spanish Filipino din po. And nagsilbi din po siyang parish priest. Parish priest of Marikina. Hindi naman dapat po si Father Jacinto Zamora yan. nagkaroon lang ng mistaken identity nating tinatawag kung saan nakaserve naman po talaga is kay Jose Zamora. Kay Jose Zamora. So, nagkaroon ng tinatawag po nating mistaken identity. So, biktima siya. Ano? Ng mistaken identity. So, dapat po is ang kasama is si Jose Zamora, hindi po si Jacinto Zamora. So, dahil naging biktima siya ng mistaken identity, siya po yung nakasama sa tatlong paring martir that is executed during the 1872. During 1872. So yan po ang bumubuo sa tatlong paring martir. Number 1 is si Father Marciano Gomez. 2 is si Father Jose Burgos. And lastly is si Father Jacinto Zamora. Si Father Jacinto Zamora. Hindi madyoha ha. Hindi madyoha. So sa number 17 is Bravo during 1872. Next number. Number 18. This is a bahala na or come what may attitude, tendency to surrender the future to luck and leaving everything to God. Number 18, this is a bahala na or come what may attitude, tendency to surrender the future to luck and leaving everything to God. A. Fatalicism. B. Ningas kugon. C. Procrastination and the crab mentality. So yan po is pasok sa negative traits nating mga Pilipino. Pasok po yan. Ang pinag-uusapan sa tanong sa number 18 is under the negative traits nating mga Pilipino. Under the negative traits of the Filipino. So, saan papasok ang situation or ang statement base sa question number 18? A, B, C, or D? So, this will fall to number 18. This will fall to letter A. Fatalicism. Alpha. Kung saan may attitude na, bahala na. Ano po, halimbawa may actions or may mga bagay kayong gagawin. So, ang lagi nating sinasabi, pag minsan nga ang sinasabi, bahala na si Batman. Ano? Bahala na kung anong mangyari. So, fatalicism po yun. So, ano naman yung tinatawag natin as ningas kugon? Ningas kugon is when a person is very good or when an individual is very good at the start and become too lazy to finish what he or she is started. To finish what were started. What were is started. Yung mga magagaling lang sa una, ano, ganyan yang mga yan. So, ningas kugon po ang tawag doon. You are very good at the start and become too lazy to finish what you were or his or her started. Halimbawa, ay gagawin ko na ito. So, excited ka gawin yung isang bagay. For example, may deadline ka. Sa college ka, may deadline ka dapat ipasa. Ano po? So, excited ka sa una. Tapos mamaya mapatingin ka sa cellphone mo. Wala na, naakit na ng cellphone. Napa-scroll na ng 3 hours hanggang sa hindi mo na tapusin yung ginagawa mo. So, ningas kugon yan. Next naman natin is the term procrastination. So, dito din tayo magaling, ano, na mga Pilipino. Kung saan it is otherwise known as the manana habit. Tinatawag po yan as the manana habit. So, ma'am, kailan nangyayari or anong example po ng procrastination? Halimbawa, ang deadline po natin, ang binigay na deadline ni professor during our college, ano po, era natin. Ang binigay na professor, 1 week na kailangan magawa mo yung certain task or certain activities. So yan yung haba ng araw o panahon na pwede mong gawin yun. Pero anong gagawin mo? Gagawin mo siya is kung kailan kinabukasan pasahan na. Saka ka magkakaraming, saka ka mai-stress. Ano po, saka ka magpapanik. Matatapos mo ba to o hindi? So procrastination ang tawag yun. Diyan tayo magaling. Ano po, tayo mga Pilipino. And lastly, is yung tinatawag nating crab mentality. So ito yung pinakang toxic trait ng isang Pilipino. Ano? The crab mentality. Kung saan they are pushing each other down. push or pushing each other down. Like for example, you are downgrading the life of a particular person para mapaangat yung pagtingin sa iyo ng ibang tao. Ano po? Kung saan hinihila mo pababa. Kapag may umaangat, hinihila pababa, sisiraan yan. So, normally makikita natin yan. Kaya sobrang toxic ng social media ngayon. Ano po? Kaya mas okay na low-key ka na lang, tahimik yung buhay mo. Dahil kapag kokonti ang nakakaalam, walang mangingialam. Ano po? So, yun yung mindset mo na dapat. Pag kokonti ang nakakaalam, walang masyadong mangingialam sa buhay mo. So, sa number 18, the answer will be alpha. Fatalicism po yan. Or yung bahala na si Batman. So, under the negative traits po. Ano itong mga nasa choices natin? Yung ningas kugon, yung procrastination, and the crab mentality. So, number 18, the answer will be alpha. Fatalicism. Next number. Number 19. What attitude or trait inclined to lack of leadership? Under pa rin po ng negative traits nating mga Pilipino. Negative traits. So, kagaya kanina sa question 18, kasama pa rin po sa negative traits nating Pilipino ang tinatanong sa number 19. What attitude or trait inclined to lack of leadership, A, hypocrisy, B, disobedient to rules and regulations, C, living beyond their needs, and D, passivity. So number 19, the trait or attitude inclined or tense or pertaining to lack of leadership is letter D. Passivity po ang tawag dyan. Ma'am, what is hypocrisy under the negative traits nating mga Pilipino? Hypocrisy is when an individual pretends to hold beliefs or whose actions are not consistent with their claimed beliefs. Kaya nga lagi ang mindset dyan, under the hypocrisy, kung ayaw mong gawin sa'yo, wag mo rin gawin sa kapwa mo. Ano, halimbawa, ayaw mo sa ganitong actions ng isang tao, pero ginagawa mo rin naman sa ibang tao. So yun po ano, halimbawa, like for example, ayaw mo nang niloloko pero ikaw din naman sa sarili mo, may ginagawa kang actions na kahit hindi ka aware na it is a form of panloloko, is magpopol pa rin yan sa actions ng panloloko or cheating. So yun po yung tinatawag natin as hypocrisy. Ibig sabihin, isa kang hipokrito na tao. Hindi, kumbaga, yung actions mo is hindi po siya equally doon sa sinasabi mo na pinaniniwalaan mo. So, hypocrisy po yan. Next naman natin, letter B, the disobedient to rules and regulation. So, dapat doon sa mga simple rules, minsan nilalabag po natin dyan. Halimbawa, bawal umihi dito o bawal manigarilyo dito. Pero minsan, lalo sa mga public places, pero minsan, meron at merong taong hindi maiwasan na hindi sumunod. Ano po doon sa simple rules and regulation? May maninigarilyo pa rin diyan. May iihi pa rin dyan basta. May mga signage na nga. So, yun yung mga simpleng rules and regulation. Kaya under siya ng negative traits kung saan binabaliwalaan natin minsan. And letter C, living beyond their needs. So, dyan papasok yung social climbing nating tinatawag. Climbing. Ano po? So, it is the action. So, yung tao na yon tinatawag naman natin as the social climber. Social climber. For example, sa social media, parang ang rangya-rangya ng buhay mo, nakakapag-travel ka kung saan-saan. Pero in reality or sa realidad ng buhay is puro ka utang. For example, hindi naman sa iyo yung mga gamit na pinopost mo sa iyong stories man yan, pinopost mo sa any other form of social media platforms man yan. So yun po yung living beyond their needs. So minsan, is magiging factor yan, karamihan, dun sa mga influencer. Ano karamihan? Kaya nagiging toxic ang social media. Na kaya ang daming sinasabi ng Pinoy na hindi totoo kasi nga, naglumalabas o pumuputok yung mga issue na hindi naman talaga sa kanila. Ano, yung mga fine-flex nila sa social media. And karaniwan, madalas is galing sa utang. Ano po? So yun po yung under the living beyond their needs. So number 19, ang attitude or traits inclined to lack of leadership is called passivity. So under pa rin po yan ha ng negative traits. Kagaya sa question number 18 natin, kasama ng fatalicism, hingas-kugon, procrastination, crab mentality, hypocrisy, disobedient to rules and regulation, living beyond their needs, and the passivity. May mga kasama pa yan. So matatakal natin yan. Yung iba is sa proper lecture natin. Ano po, this September naman yan. Face to face. So number 19, the answer will be delta. Passivity po ang tawag dyan. Next number. Number 20, it is considered as the 4B model of ethical leadership, except. So, lilinawan ng mata ha. Halimbawa, sobrang haba ng tanong, hindi na nabasa hanggang dulo, may except pala. So, ang sinagot mo is minsan may chances na mamalit mo pa yung sagot sa question na yun. So, basahing maigi, tapusin ang tanong. Kapag kayo ay come up ng question na sobrang haba. Ano po? So, number 20, it is considered as the 4B model of ethical leadership, except. So, alin ang hindi kasama doon sa 4B model of ethical leadership? A, values. B, vision. C, voice. D, virtual. So, ang hindi kasama, since except ang nasa tanong, number 40 pertain to letter D. Hindi po kasama yung term na virtual. So, bago natin ibigay yung 4B model of ethical leadership po na yan, bigyan muna natin ng definition. Ma'am, ano ba yung tinatawag as the ethical leadership? Ma'am, ano po yung tinatawag as the ethical leadership? So, yung ethical leadership po na yan is a form of leadership. It is a form of leadership which po yan na, pinaiksi ko na lang, which individuals demonstrate conduct for the common goal. For the common goal. So, yan po yung tinatawag natin as ethical leadership. Kung saan, it is simply defined or this pertaining to the quotation that right behavior. So, ito yung pinaniniwalaan niya or yung pinakang core purpose ng ethical leadership na yan. That right behavior is ethical. That right behavior is ethical and wrong behavior is unethical. And wrong behavior is unethical. Unethical. Pagaya lang din po niyan kapag professional, unprofessional. Ano? So, yun yung mga actions. Unethical. So, yan yung indication under the ethical leadership that right behavior is ethical kapag sumusunod or hindi niya nabe-break yung norms man or tradition or cultures man yan or paniniwala ng komunidad is right behavior daw po yun or ethical behavior yan. If the community considered it is yung action na isang individual is wrong behavior, it is considered as an ethical behavior. Ano po? So, papunta na tayo. Ano po yung 4B model of ethical leadership na yan? Bakit hindi kasama, ma'am, ang nasa letter D? So, number 1, isulat natin sa baba. The 4B model of ethical leadership. So, EL na lang po. So, ano yung kinukonsidera natin? Bakit hindi kasama? Number 1 is values. So, kasama po, ano, yung nasa letter A. Number 1 is values. When we are pertaining to values under the 4B model of ethical leadership, it is the standards. It is the standards of behavior. So, kung ano nga yung binibigyan or binibigyan ng degree of importance kung ano yung mga kung ano yung mga importanteng bagay na dapat masunod o dapat o ina-accept o ina-allow ng komunidad. So, values yung ginagawang standard ng mga behavior na yon. Ano po, para matawag natin siya as the ethical leadership. Next naman natin, number 2, under pa rin ng 4B model is yung tinatawag nating vision. So, yung nasa letter B, kasama pa rin po, ano, yung tinatawag nating vision. Kung saan under the vision, dyan papasok yung dapat ang isang individual is future-oriented. Tinatawag o dapat ang isang individual is future-oriented. Dahil kapag ang isang individual has the vision or have a vision or siya ay isang future-oriented na isang tao, magkakaroon po yan syempre ng maayos na output. Ano po, kung saan o kaya makamit niya yung output na gusto niyang makuha. And next naman po natin, under the 4B model of ethical leadership pa rin, number 3 is voice. Number 3 is voice. So, voice pertaining to the expression of formulated ideas. Expression of formulated ideas. Lated ideas. So, dito ko na lang sinulat. Hindi na dugsong po. Ano? So, voice pertaining to the expression of formulated ideas. And lastly, number 4, the right term will be virtue. The right term will be virtue. Kung saan, under the virtue is meron ka na po as an individual nung tinatawag nating higher moral values. High moral values. So yan po ang kinukonsidered natin as the 4B model of ethical leadership. Kaya hindi kasama yung term na virtual. So since except ang nasa tanong sa number 20, the answer will be virtual. Dahil ang under ng 4B is values, number 2 is vision, number 3 is voice, and lastly is the virtue or the high moral values. So yan po yung tinatawag natin as the 4B model of ethical standards. So yun lang since ito naman po ay 2-hour session lang and mga sample question para mabigyan lang kayo ng idea or ng clue sa kung ano yung mangyayari or gagawin natin during your proper review session. So, ganyan po kami mag-come up sa mga tanong para matulungan namin kayo kung paano po ba mag-rationalize ng isang tanong para mas mataas yung chances na tamaan natin ang question. So, tatandaan po ha, tatandaan natin, anong sinabi ko sa pinakang una pa lamang, under the professional ethics and values, kasama po yan sa criminology area. Meron tayong 20% dyan. And ang character formation, under po yan ng LEA na area na nagkakaroon ng 15% of the 100%. So, tatandaan lang, antif ni ma'am, wag na wag kayong lalagpas o wag na wag niyong babaliwalain yung mga subject na hindi porket meron lang pong 10%, meron lang 15%, and meron lang 20% is dun kayo lamang magpo-focus sa may mas mataas na percent. So, tayo ay under na po ng RA 11131. So, since tayo ay under ng new curriculum, laging ang mindset po natin, wag na wag kayong i-stick sa 75 na raw score na yan. Wag na wag. Na dapat at least man po is 80 or 85 above at least. 80 or 85 above, at least ang raw score na matatamaan para sure na maiipasa ang board exam at makukuha ang lisensya po na yan. So yun lang magkita-kita tayo po sa face-to-face natin, the proper review session sa September. So si Mama mag-handle ng professional ethics and values and character formation 1 and 2. So maraming salamat po sa nanood. So magkita-kita po tayo face to face. Maraming salamat po.